One of the most recent popular food trends would have to be pork buns. And I think the main reason is because of those soft, pillowy buns. They are simply delicious, and you can fill it with whatever you like, but I'm going to fill it with a delicious roast duck. So I'm just going to pull the meat off the bone and serve it with hoisin sauce. And the beautiful thing about this is you usually get them at the restaurants, but you can make them at home. The only tricky part is waiting. So waiting for the dough to rise. So let's get onto that first. I have 1 sachet of instant yeast here, and we need to feed the yeast so it starts to rise, so it makes our buns really light and fluffy. We need a teaspoon of sugar with 5 tablespoons of flour, so we'll measure that out. 3, 4, and 5. And then we need some liquid in here, and you can use some water or milk, and it needs to be lukewarm. The lukewarm liquid will allow this to activate. So this goes in, you just give it a really quick mix, and now I allow this to just rest for about half an hour or until it looks just like this. So you can actually just cover it with a bit of cling wrap if you like, or a tea towel, but it needs to be in a warm spot so it gets really frothy and bubbly just like this. So now once you've done that, we can get on to the next stage. You need a big mixing bowl like this. You can do this by hand, but I think sometimes using the machine makes life a lot easier. The rest of that flour goes into our mixer, and I'm using a combination of self-raising flour and corn flour, and this will make them really, really soft and really white also. A little bit of oil and 100 grams of caster sugar. Now I'm using a dough hook here, so we're just going to press that down and just start to combine it so all of those ingredients are together. Also, I have forgotten just a pinch of salt. You don't want that salt to go near the yeast at the beginning because it'll kill it off. You just want to add it to the flour. And now I'm going to place the yeast mixture in, scrape down the sides there so we get as much out of that bowl. We need it all. It'll slowly come together, become like a crumb, and then it'll become a dough. So that's when we're going to turn the machine up and just allow it to knead until a really soft ball of dough forms. Then we need to rest it for about 2 hours in a warm spot. Look how much this dough has risen. So now we can add a little bit of bicarb soda just to help them stay really, really soft. So I'm going to sieve it in, and just with the back of your hand, just make sure you get it all through. Now, before I start kneading this, we're going to get 6 pieces of baking paper. So this is to sit our little buns on so they don't stick to our steamer here. So just rough pieces, we're going to cut into 6. And now for the last knead, I'm just going to just always add a little bit of flour to your hands just to make it easier. Look how light that is. We're just knocking that back there, and just place another little bit of flour, not too much, okay? We don't want this to dry out too much. See how soft that is? That is just gorgeous dough there. And just knead it just for a little bit, just to incorporate all of that bicarb soda. And now I need to cut this into 12 even pieces. So we'll cut it into 4 and then into 3. So that's the easiest way to do it, just to make sure that you get perfect portioning, so no one has a bigger bun than the other. And now we're ready to shape them. So just roll them into balls first, and then press them down. We want to shape it into a rough oval, and then roll it out to a larger oval, and then we just flip it over to make a little sandwich, just like that. When that rises just one more time, they're going to be really fluffy again. So I get a steamer basket, and we'll take it off the water for now, and just place all of your little buns in there ready to go. Again, in another warm spot, and another half an hour, and then they're ready to steam. So it's all worth the wait when you see the end result. And I'm going to serve it with Chinese style duck. Now this is already cooked, it just needs to be heated up. So an oven at 200 degrees for about 25 minutes. My half duck smells fantastic. It's really, really hot right now, so you don't want to be picking the meat. So I like to let it cool for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm going to shred all of that meat off the bones, which gives me just enough time to steam the buns. Now have a look at them. They've risen even more. They're so soft. Now these need about 20 minutes to steam, so the lid goes back on our steamer basket, and I've got a wok here with just a little bit of water down the bottom, and that goes in there, and we'll just let them steam. They'll rise a little bit. We'll let that cool. I'll also chop some condiments ready to go to serve with our duck steam buns. And to finally reveal them, the buns are cooked. They look great. And we just take them out. You know when they're cooked, when they've just started to become just slightly firm on the top there. And I'm going to turn the heat off and just leave these in the warm steamer for now. But let's open two of them. Just cut them straight down the middle there while they're still hot, perfectly cooked and soft. Now you need a lot of sauce for this, so hoisin is the best option. You could also change it up. You could add a little bit of kimchi in here, a little bit of mayonnaise, and just with a teaspoon, we'll just place a big dollop of the sauce down the bottom on each, and then on the top also. And then this gorgeous duck, I'm using the duck breast here. This is the best of both worlds. You get duck breast, you also get the leg here, so different textures of the duck there, and a few pieces of cucumber and some shallots. Place that on the plate there, and we'll do our last one here. A few pieces of cucumber for that crunch, and the spring onions. I've been waiting patiently for a while, so I can't wait to have a taste. They taste 10 times better when you make them at home, and that duck is so nice. I can actually taste the 5 spice on that. A labour of love, but it's worth giving it a go at home.